Hello, my name is Tony Beers, and this is Movie Grades.
And just like the movies, we play out our last scene.
Hey everybody, Tony Beers here again. In this episode of Movie Grades, I'm going to be talking about The Dark Knight Rises. Okay, now before I talk about The Dark Knight Rises, there was a teaser trailer for The Man of Steel before The Dark Knight Rises, and I want to give a little review on that before I get on to the main review. Okay, now it sucked. It didn't really show much of anything. It showed a little bit of Clark's dad. It showed some of him working as a fisherman or something. And it showed him hitching for a ride, which is straight out of Superman 2. And I hope this isn't like Superman Returns, which it tried to be an homage to Richard Donner's Superman, but it's kind of ripped it off and just like copying just about everything. I hope it's not going to be like that. Like I said before about the Amazing Spider-Man, Superman's not a dark character. He shouldn't be portrayed as a dark character, and he shouldn't be in like a dark movie. A Superman movie should make you feel positive, should uplift you. And I hope they don't go for this dark route. And then there was a scene with Superman flying, big deals. Yeah, I know it's a teaser trailer, but even in these teaser trailers, they shouldn't release them unless they have something to show. And I felt that this didn't show anything. Now on to the main review. Okay, now I might have some spoilers in here. There might be minor spoilers. I'm gonna try to keep it as spoiler free as I can. Consider this your minor spoiler warning. Now the plot is that Bane, a former League of Shadows member, steals a fusion device from Wayne Enterprises and turns it into a nuclear bomb. And with this nuclear bomb, he holds the entire city hostage. And it's up to Bruce Wayne to come out of his self-imposed retirement as Batman and to stop Bane from finishing Ra's al Ghul's plan to destroy the city. Now, I'll begin my review with the way I usually begin all my reviews, with the bad of the movie. Now, I don't want any Nolan fanboys to jump down my back, so I'll just say that I actually did like the movie. I liked it a lot, but I did have a few minor complaints, but I feel they are worth mentioning. This movie is supposed to take place 8 years after the events of The Dark Knight, which is kind of strange since no one really looks 8 years older. I mean, Bruce Wayne has a little bit of gray in his hair. That's about it. Everyone else looks the same. And he's still injured. Now, I thought perhaps the injuries came from something we didn't see within these 8 years. But a lot of people are saying it's from the events of The Dark Knight. And it's like, well, it takes 8 years for these injuries to heal, and they're not even healed yet. In this movie, he actually has his back broken by Bane. And within a few months, he's fine. It's healed. His broken back can heal within a few months. But whatever injuries he's had after The Dark Knight isn't healed after 8 years. That didn't quite make sense to me. Another thing is they never mention the Joker, which I can understand why they wouldn't. I mean, they talk about like Harvey Dent like all the time in this movie, so they don't even talk about the Joker. I would prefer to at least say something. Oh, there's that nut in Arkham Asylum, or something like that. I like I said, I can understand why they didn't, but I would prefer something. There's a part in this movie where Bruce Wayne is in the desert, and then a second later he's in Gotham City, and this doesn't make sense, especially since Bane has already held the city for hostage, and the government has blocked off the city. Bane has blew up a bunch of bridges, and so Bruce Wayne would have to get past the U.S. government to get into Gotham City, and also Bane's soldiers that he has around. So I know he's Batman, but still, this would be quite impossible for anybody to do. Everybody knows that Bane wears this breathing apparatus on him, this mask. You would think that, just by using common sense, you could figure out that if he's not wearing this, it would probably harm him or he wouldn't be able to breathe or something. It's a weakness, in other words. And nobody thinks to attack this. Nobody thinks, oh, we could take him down as soon as we get this mask off him. He'll be weakened and we can take him down. Not until the very end of the movie where Batman's fighting Bane and he damages his mask that he becomes weakened. But my point is that if Bane came and attacked me, the first thing I would do would go straight for this mask. Well, the second thing after kicking him in the balls. But I mean, it's obvious that this is his weakness and nobody thinks to attack it. Now, there's a scene towards the end of the movie where an army of cops comes and attacks Bane's army, and it's a cool scene. I love this scene. It's probably one of my favorite scenes in the movie, but strategically, it doesn't really make any sense. I mean, the cops are just running in this straight line, all lined up. It just makes it easier for Bane to get out his gun and start killing them all off. They show that the cops have guns. I mean, if I was in charge, I'd get a couple snipers. I'll get some people hiding behind some cars or some buildings with their guns shooting instead of just charging at Bane. He's in this building. I mean, even surround the building. You got enough cops. You could surround the building, take cover, have snipers. But no, they just line them up in the straight line and charge. Now, as I said before when I talked about the trailers and stuff like that, is that I hated Bane's voice in the trailer. I didn't think it was clear enough. It was very muffled, which does make sense since he's wearing a mask, but they could easily fix this. And watching the movie, I have to say that they did. They fixed it, but not quite enough. Not 100% to where I understood him all the time. I still had a slight problem understanding. Now, I've heard some people say that Bane sounds like Sean Connery, which I have to disagree. He sounds like an old, wheezing man. I'm Gotham's reckoning. He just sounds like an old man gasping for breath. Now, I've said this before, too. I like Tom Hardy in this movie. He's very good as Bane, but I would have preferred if they had chosen a Hispanic actor. Now, I know that Bane is half British, but he's also half Hispanic. And I just thought it'd be better if they had chosen a Hispanic actor, because you don't see that many Hispanic superheroes or villains in movies. Now, I said this before too, but I also feel that Tom Hardy is too small to play Bane. He's a big guy, he's built and everything, but he's not Bane big. He doesn't have to be the size of the Hulk or anything like that, but he's even shorter than Christopher Nolan. The thing about Bane's character is that he's supposed to be physically superior to Batman. He's supposed to be huge. You're supposed to look at him and think, oh, there's no way that Batman can beat this guy. And in this movie, he just isn't. If anything, he's shorter than Batman. Now, here's a minor spoiler, okay? There's a twist at the end of the movie where it's revealed that Bane's not quite the mastermind of this whole plan. He's more like just a general in an army rather than the leader at the top. So I feel that this kind of diminishes the character just a little bit. Now, as far as Catwoman goes, first of all, they don't call her Catwoman in this movie. And another thing is, as much as I like Anne Hathaway as Catwoman, I felt that physically she looked a little frail, and I didn't quite buy her being such a, martial artist as she is in this movie. I said this before too, and as far as the costume goes, the costume's fine. I wouldn't have any complaints about it if it was in any other movie, but this is a Christopher Nolan movie where everything's supposed to be so realistic, and her costume is just very impractical. The high heels, for example, nobody fights in high heels. They kind of throw in this flimsy explanation why she has these high heels, because they show her threatening a guy once. As far as the goggles, they show her using them twice, but they never say exactly what they do. She has them on, but for what reason? Neither the high heels nor the goggles have any other purpose other than to look like the costume from the 60s. And what makes this so strange is they explain every other character's reason for wearing what they wear. I mean, they explain Bane's mask, and in the previous movies they explains everything that Batman wears. So why can't they tell us what those goggles do, and and really why does she need those high heels? Okay, there's one point in the movie where Catwoman is caught and she's taken to prison, but she's taken to a male prison. This would never happen in real life. I mean, they show how tough she is by twisting this one guy's arms, but I don't care how tough you are. If you're a woman and you're sent to prison, as soon as you're left alone with a bunch of these guys, she's going to be beaten and raped in 2 seconds.